Hi, everybody. Back again. Going to go over section 3 of chapter 3. Okay. One thing before I start, and I want you to be aware that we've moved from perfect tense verbs into the present tense. We saw that in the last slide from the perfect Duxerunt. Now we moved to confirmant. Now we're going to continue on with that string of present indicatives. It's what is called the historical present. Again, these events are going on years before Caesar is a proconsul in Gaul. Okay, but for the sake of vividness and kind of an immediacy, Latin, just like English, will often veer into present tense verbs. Again, we call these historical presents, and it's just for the sake of excitement and vividness. Okay. Ad eas res conficiendas, we just saw that phrase, okay? Literally, for the purpose of completing these matters, okay? All right. Orgetorix is selected, okay? Big surprise, okay? He was the one who made the pitch, okay? Now, he himself, suscepit, we've now moved to a perfect, undertook the delegation, the legationem, the embassy, ad civitates, to these neighboring communities, ad civitates, to the communities, sibi, for himself. Okay, so the original goal, the stated goal, was he has to go and make sure that they can move where they want to go without causing any drama with the neighbors that they're going to be going through. Okay, but here he does it for himself. Is sibi, he for himself undertook the embassy to the communities. Okay, on that journey, okay, persuadet. Now, here we go, present again. He persuades Casticus, okay, the son of Catamantaloides, okay. Now, this from Catamantaloides, this is the genitive form, okay, but the nominative is actually identical, okay, so it's Catamantaloides, nominative, genitive, Catamantaloides. So here's the genitive, okay. So he persuades Casticus, the son of Catamantaloides, a Sequanus, a member of the Sequani tribe. Okay, again, the Sequani are on the other side of Mount Ura. Okay. Whose father, cuius pater, obtinuerat, had held fast to the kingship among the Sequani, among the Sequani, multos annos, okay, for many years, okay, accusative of duration. Okay, regnum is the direct object of the obtinuerat. So whose father had held fast to the kingship among the Sequani for many years. And, okay, get this, appellatus erat, had been named amicus, a friend populi Romani, of the Roman people, by the Senate, by the Roman Senate. Okay, there were some goings on several years prior, and the Sequani had been named a friend of the Roman people. Okay, that was even though they were not part of the Roman Empire at that point, they still got called out in a good way for being a friend. Okay, I want to say a little bit about the word amicus here. That's nominative. Okay, because this passive verb appellatus erat, had been named, it's going to function like a linking verb. So this amicus is going to be a predicate nominative, a complement, okay? Again, because this appellatus erat is functioning like a linking verb, okay? So he had been named by the Senate a friend of the Roman people, okay? Now, going back, we've got a little bit of, it seems to us like mission drift, but not to a Roman. So what does he persuade Casticus to do, this Sequani? That he sees, occuparet. Now this ut clause, indirect command, okay, based with this persuadet back here, that he sees the kingship in his community, in his nation, the Sequani. The kingship that, quod, okay, that his father, or that the father had, or that his father held previously. Okay, ante here is going to mean adverb ante, not a preposition ante. Okay, I do want to go back up here to this castico. Okay, that's a dative. The verb persuadeo often is going to be, I persuaded dative to do an indirect command. Okay, so it's often going to be persuadeo plus dative plus ut clause or ne clause. Okay? So he persuades Casticus to seize the kingship in his community that the father held earlier. Okay? Now, you might be wondering about habuerit. That's actually going to be a perfect subjunctive. Okay? The reason being, and it's no really good reason, is that sometimes when you have a clause that is itself subordinated to a clause with a subjunctive, so this relative clause quod pater ante habuerit is subordinated to this indirect command. And sometimes once you start subjunctive, the subjunctive kind of spreads. Okay, so again, this perfect subjunctive is going to be subjunctive by attraction. Okay, and it's also going to be a little bit tricky because the sequence of tenses here in the sentence is not what we expect. Okay, we expect with a present tense persuadit that everything is going to be a primary sequence. A historical present, sometimes you get secondary sequence, sometimes primary sequence. And here's a great example. This indirect command, imperfect subjunctive. Okay, but then in this clause, we get a perfect subjunctive.